Good evening, old school Texas Tech. We're continuing with our college football predictions, both the Big 12 and some other schools around the country. I'm just kind of getting to as many as I can. Jordan Kennedy is going to help me with this one. Conference rivals, the Baylor Bears. He has some family connections to the Bears, so he might know a little bit more about them than I do. But I have done a fair amount of reading about them also. So, Jordan, I'm going to let you have the floor first. We'll get right to it. August 31st, Baylor plays Tarleton State in Waco.
Man, that's a tough one. No, I think Baylor rolls in their first game. If not, it's going to be a long season.
Okay. September 7th. This is the strangest game maybe on the Big 12 schedule for the year, maybe. Baylor plays at Utah, but it's actually not considered a conference game because of the realignment stuff. It is a conference game, but it won't go into the win-loss record for conference play. They just weren't able to get around that somehow. So what do you think is going to happen? Baylor at Utah, September 7th.
So let me get this straight. They had this game, I guess, scheduled in advance before, and so that's okay. That's still weird to me. It's a Big 12 game, but what do I know? Um,
Kind of, but kind of not.
Utah is going to be loaded. I think top. They've been good for like 20 years now with that Kyle Whittingham. I think Utah will beat Baylor pretty soundly.
Okay. September 14th, Baylor comes home to Waco and plays Air Force.
Oh, Air Force is actually pretty good these days, but I think Baylor will win that one.
Okay. September 21st, the Bears go to Boulder and play Coach Sanders on the road.
Ooh, that should be a good game. I think Colorado's going to win that one at home.
Okay.
Baylor will be
Uh,
2-2.
2-2. Okay. September 28th, Baylor gets BYU in Waco.
No, that should be a good matchup. I can't remember if they. I think they beat BYU last year, didn't they, or did they lose to them?
Yeah, I think it was a close game, and I want to say it was in Waco before, but I'm not 100% sure on
I
that.
think BYU wins that one in a close
Okay,
game.
okay, yeah. Some BYU or Baylor fan, if you're watching, correct me. Was it game in Waco or was it Provo last year? Um, October 5th, Baylor goes to Ames.
Oh, they're playing Iowa State. Yeah, that's a loss. They're not getting that one done. Iowa State at home, stingy defense. I don't see it. That's another loss for Baylor.
Okay, then Baylor does get a bye, and then they play October 19th at home at not at home for them on the road in Lubbock.
I hope they lose that one 86-0. But I do
Okay,
think Tech's going to win that one. I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but hey,
right, right.
that's a loss for Baylor.
Okay, October 26th, the Oklahoma State Cowboys come to Waco.
That's another loss for Baylor.
Okay, November 2nd, they get TCU also at home.
They'll lose that one.
Okay. Then November, they get a bye. Then November 16th, they go to Morgantown to play West Virginia.
Now that's interesting. That's a team I haven't heard from in a little while. I think they're probably building on a little something that they've had there. I'm going to go with West Virginia. I don't think Baylor's
Okay.
got a tank at this point in the season.
All right. November 23rd, Baylor goes to Houston.
I think that's a game that Baylor will win.
Okay. Okay. And then November 30th, they get Kansas at home.
That's a loss. I
Okay.
think
So you,
I
okay.
think he'll be in the top couple of teams in the Big 12. I do.
Okay. All right. I'm not quite as high on Kansas as everybody else, but so you have wins against Houston. What did you say on BYU?
I said BYU wins that one.
Okay. Okay, so Houston, you have Baylor beating Air Force
Yep.
and Tarleton State.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think I had him at 3 or 4 wins. I think it might have been. I think it was four. Yeah.
Who was the other one?
I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
Was it was it
I am starting out two.
oh no, Tarleton State, Air Force, and Houston.
Yep. Actually, that's three. So I have them at
That's
three.
three.
It's three.
Okay. We'll correct it in the comments. So I actually I'll go ahead and spoil the secret. I have exactly the same, but I'll run through it real quick. I think Baylor will beat Tarleton State easily. I think Baylor will be humiliated against Utah on the road. Air Force has to replace their entire offensive line. So Baylor's going to get the win against Air Force. Um, and Air Force runs all that triple option stuff. So the fact that they have to replace their whole offensive line, and I don't know how it works with the service academies. If anybody knows, put it in the comments after you subscribe and like this video. And tell me how easy it is for people to transfer into a service academy. I would think it would be pretty difficult, if not impossible. So that's going to be hard to replace an offensive line like that. I think Coach Sanders will easily take care of Baylor and Boulder. BYU in Waco, that might be their chance at a fourth win. I don't know. BYU certainly did a number on us, but it was with a third string quarterback who just had a really bad night. I actually think that quarterback might be pretty good at the end. Um, at Ames, it is a little bit it is a little bit still a little bit warmer, maybe October 5th, but I like Iowa State winning that game. I think Tech will beat Baylor with ease and Lubbock. I think Oklahoma State's just way too talented for Baylor. I think TCU's going to have to win that game to make like a 6 or 7 win season to create to win 6 or 7 for the season. At West Virginia, I don't think that will be that close. I think West Virginia they have a pretty tough schedule, but I think they're going to be pretty decent. Houston's a wild card because that coach at Tulane's really highly thought of, and they still have is it Donovan Smith from Tech?
Yeah, I think he might still be there. I guess he just has
Yeah,
left.
yeah, but I would agree with you. I think Baylor would pull it up. Will pull it off. I think it'll be a pretty tough game. And Kansas at home. The only chance that Baylor would have that is if just Kansas is really beat up and their season's kind of gone sideways, playing in and having to go play their home games in Kansas City every week. But yeah, I pretty much have them 3-9 as well.
And that's what's so great about this sport. It's fun to predict, but until the season gets going, you never know. Midway through the season, the team you're playing could be riddled with injuries, and so that's your break. So, and then there's
Yeah,
all teams that are better than you think they're going to be. There's
yeah.
teams that works. So that's why I think this is the best sport ever created.
Yeah, it is. Let's hope they don't ruin college football.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy it while it lasts, and hopefully that'll last forever.
Yep.
All right, great job. I enjoyed it. So we both have Baylor 3-9. You have TCU 7-5. I have TCU 6-6. We'll continue with the predictions. Jordan will join me for some of them. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you.